another day, a new video. So I'm gonna talk about something I started always talking about, and this is the compensation and reparation from the white man. And this is something that they owe almost everyone. And this is a plain truth. They owe this almost everyone. And we are talking about generations upon generation because these people never stopped their white supremacy evil here. And if you were supposed to just look at what they owe the black race, the African race they created and crowned, this group will bankrupt them completely. Just this group alone will bankrupt them. Because there's a lot of things going on here. Slavery is one thing. This is something the white man had to compensate the nations he took these slaves from, all of them. Because his form of slavery was like no one else's slavery. He can try to argue all he likes that it's just like what everyone else was doing here. But if people actually start coming forward with documentation about slaveryhood lives around the world, white man will just turn out. That's his point to it. White man's slavery will just turn out as something else, the devil himself. Yeah, that's one thing you have to pay and compensate these nations from, because a lot of slavery didn't even buy them. We talk about straight up kidnapping and brutalizing. I don't know what kind of deal was made around, but the fact that he was running a human trafficking network and mafia operations, because this is what it is. It's not what it is. When you have a network operation here, you hire people, you send people out to kidnap people. It's not human trafficking. Excuse me, it's not human trafficking. Because legal slave trade is when you actually face to face come to someone who already have a slave, and you ask how much for this slave, and you buy that slave. That is legal slavery transaction. But when you go around hiring people to kidnap here and there, this is human trafficking. Yeah? So there's no way white man's slavery is the same as everyone else, just foundation alone. The fact you have to go around creating kidnapping, human trafficking rings around, hey, you need to compensate that. Not to mention having stopped in your behavior. You still go around operating this kind of kidnapping, human trafficking rings within the continent. You still do that. So you have a lot to compensate in terms of slavery because you never stopped that to begin with. Yeah? And then, what about all the things you destroyed? The cultures, the political system, you even stole people's gods. I've never heard of this one before, man, stealing someone's god. Hey, even in the Bible, I read, kings back in the days, they can steal artifacts. That can be religious, but in terms of stealing idol gods, that's not even mentioned in the Bible. No one have any interest in taking someone's god here, because they have their own god already they worship. It will be an abomination to now start having another god there to influence spirituality. But white man did this, stealing people's gods. Who does that, honestly? That just shows the deep level of evil agenda at play here. Because the god of someone is the spiritual power they depend on for their rulership and whatever they're doing. So you take that away from them, you're robbing them of their power. And you keep it in your possession, meaning you're not just taking their power from them, but you're making it your power. You don't want that what benefited them to benefit you the same way. That's what it means. Stealing people's gods. And you need to return these gods back. You need to compensate them for stealing their spiritual powers. You need to compensate them for that. Truth be told, you need to compensate them for robbing of their spiritual powers. Yeah? The political systems you destroyed. And here these motherfuckers have audacity that they are the forerunner on everything here. They're the one who created the feminine movement. White woman is one who's a political woman. White woman decision maker. You took everything from these African women. That is where you have the real origin of what white women call Western humanity. She's imitating those women 100%. Only that, she's not interested in being those women completely. She just wants the credit, the plausibility, and the social respect and acceptance, the plausibility and admirability that comes along with being that kind of woman without being that woman. Because what is this white woman even does? She just gets praised, lived on a pedestal. She's not even doing anything here. White man is everywhere, doing everything for her. This is not how it was with these women in these African empires they went around with stealing this humanity from. These women literally were equal society, even their parliaments were equal genders here. Now what kind of a minister sits in a house of lords doing nothing with her husband there? I'm just saying, man, there is no woman in this day and age who's going to be in the parliament, being a minister there with her husband, hand all over the place doing everything for her. But this is what white woman is. This is exactly what one woman is with her independent woman, whatever here. She does not demonstrate the character of this woman. She doesn't have the qualities of this woman. She does not have any of the works that makes her this woman. But she is living off that social credibility, social applaud, and being lifted on a pedestal and being worshipped for being someone she's not. Basically. We all know by now that Queen Elizabeth, this was all Philip's work. We all know this by now. The real power of the crown was Prince Philip, not Queen Elizabeth. This is white woman for you. The same thing was with Queen Victoria. Albert was one who was the real power, everything here. Victoria just got the credibility for just being a trophy woman here. This is white woman for you. Trying to be someone she's not, and she don't even want to actually become that at all, because if you work your way hard enough, you can become that woman. But you don't want to. You just want to be lifted and praised for nothing. Rather, you want it to be a form of worship for you. You should have power as a worship. A goddess worship without even doing anything a God is supposed to be doing. This is white woman for you and humanity. This is what all this is based on. Trying to take in credibility, plausibility, admirability, social respect for something she's not. Something she has no interest in becoming. She just wants to be worshipped and died for and live about. That's all this woman wants. And that is all she keeps demonstrating over and over again. The same thing with these apartheid women I saw in one of the documentary days. When they were considered the most privileged white woman on the face of the earth. That they have housekeepers and everything, therefore they can now go around and get involved in communal situations. This is not how it was with these African empires. These women, while they're raising their kids, being wives, they were actively involved in the community. They did not depend on housekeepers, men and help, even though some had a few, but these women were still out there being active members of society with children to raise. Why is it that that white woman will need 10,000 maids in order for her to just go and hand out leaflets? I'm just saying, man, this is not humanity. You're trying to be something you're not. Something you don't even have an interest in. You just want the plausibility, admirability, respect, and just be worshipped for something you're not. Basically. I'm just saying, man. But this white woman is just focused on to be worshipped here. If you look at this, is a worship situation going here for not even meeting the need of being a goddess here. You're just being worshipped and goddess without even being one. I don't know if you guys have looked this music video. This is not just the only one. You see this a lot in white musician music videos here. The way they portray this woman, they're worshipping this woman straight up. This is worship. I would say for those of you who have looked at Infinity, the 2018 version, not the old one, the same artist, Guru Josh, but the remix new version of 2018. If you look at that music video, this man is straight up worshiping this white woman. This is a trend in a lot of white male music videos here. They worship the white woman. And this is how West Side is built upon worshiping white woman just for the sake of having a vagina to fuck. Basically, just for the sake of this woman having vagina, you can pull your dick inside, you worship this white woman. And based on having this god vagina here, she now have the power to dominate of you, control your mind, and get to do everything for her. This is exactly white woman's role in white society and white supremacy. Talking about compensation, what I actually started with here. Now, this is something white people love to think that, oh guys, so if we're gonna get bankrupt, we can't really pay you back, so we escape. Says who? Says who that you're gonna be pardoned by anybody here? Says who that you're gonna be pardoned by anybody here? Because you have a lot to compensate here. What about all the wars you have created all over the place? I'm the same, and the wars you have created all over the place, you need to compensate you for that, man. Just look at some Latina countries today. Some countries where the gun is literally like every day someone's being shot on the same street, many times. Every day we're having a row of corpses falling down. Now, where did this culture come from? This is all you white people involved to create this kind of situation. After the wars, you implemented a project up, and then you leave these nations in these kind of conditions. You need to compensate them for that. So this is not even just the black race, because you have been doing this in Latin America, you've done it in Central America, you've done this in the Middle East, you've done this in Asia. You need to compensate everyone by everything you've done here. The wars you've created, everything else here. All the diseases you've been spreading around, you need to compensate us for that. Our natures, you have been destroying the pollution, you need to compensate us for that. You're not getting away with all nothing here. And I can tell you guys, people, that money is not the only way to take compensation here. Because even today, we have something called borrower and lender system, where if you cannot repay your loan, there are other ways your lender can take what you owe them, such as seizing your property, seizing your business, seizing your cars, seizing your land. This still exists in our part of the world, and even at that, they can still take you, your body, your wives, your children, your family as slaves. So as you can see, the physical paper money that white man can say they don't have, hey, that's not even needed here, because we can take your lands, your property, your businesses, even you, and make you our slaves to pay back our debt. We have the right to do that, because they owe us. They're in debt for all the evil they've done to us. They have to pay their debt. They have to compensate us. According to me, you're not getting away with no nothing here. And anyone who can reason here, yeah, what I'm saying is the truth. As far as I'm concerned, you deserve no less than 1,000 years slavery from now on, to make up just for a little bit of what you've done. In truth, you deserve a 2,000 years complete enslavement here, to make up for everything you've done globally. 2,000 years. But the minimum you get from me is 1,000. And that involves seizing all your lands. You will become the colony. You will become my colony now. Yeah. You can't give us the money, the gold, because you don't have the gold you stole from everyone else, because you have to return everyone everything you stole. So you don't have no gold, you don't have no diamond, you have no silver, you have no nothing here to pay no one here with. You have your bodies, your lands, your properties, and your businesses and your cars. Yeah, we take it. And you become our slaves for at least the next 1,000 years, 2,000 years. Then you would have paid your debt accordingly, justly. Yeah, I'm just saying. No, you don't let them just get away with it. They pay their debt. They owe you. You owe me, you owe us, and you have to pay your debt. Just saying, man. But that is it for you guys.